Just a couple bad weather fans representing New York, talking all things sports. Man, what could go wrong? We got Alex, who's a fan of the Knicks, and Mike of the Nets. The yin-yang of the tri-state, place your bets on the Yankees, Giants, Mets, or Jets. Yeah, you should listen if they're sparking your interest. If you made a vow to your team, don't break it. Bad weather fans is the relation.
That's right. This is Bad Weather Fans, episode number 196. Mike Biseglia, Alex Benesowitz, and we are presented by DraftKings. Brooklyn Nets, tough loss last night on a on a Wednesday evening to get my days straight as we are recording this on Thanksgiving morning. 147, 145 in overtime. Trae Young daggers all over the place to defeat the Brooklyn Nets. Nets now 6-8 on the season and on a 3-game losing streak. Well, the New York Knicks, 8-6. They did lose to Minnesota on the road, but they did get some quality wins as they've improved to 8-6. The Eastern Conference as a whole is improved with good teams all over the place. But here we are on Thanksgiving morning. We'll react to the Nets a little bit. We'll react to the Knicks. And we've got a fun mailbag episode planned where we receive some of your questions that you put out for us on Twitter. With all of that, happy Thanksgiving, Alex. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Mike. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours and to everybody out there. We have a lot to be thankful for this year. We have decent basketball teams and, football teams stink. But you know what? We're happy. We got our health, we have our families, and, sports isn't everything. It's a lot, but it's not everything.
Yeah, Nets stink, but whatever. At least that's how I feel right now. Can't blame me.
Yeah, well, that was tough. But anyway, so we are sponsored by DraftKings, as Mike said. There's so much to be thankful for. Friends, family, food, and NFL football all week long. DraftKings Sportsbook is keeping your Thanksgiving full of action. New customers can bet just $5 on the NFL action to score 150 instantly in bonus bets. No matter your appetite, there's something for you. Money lines, parlays, props, live bets, and so much more. You name it, they've got it. So if you're looking to bet today, if you're listening on Thanksgiving, you got the Packers +8. I like that bet over the Lions. And then you have the Commanders and the Cowboys.
Sheesh.
That's tough. And the Commanders are getting +13.5. I hate not taking that much points, but it's kind of tough to take the Commanders after they just lost to the Giants. So I'm going with the Cowboys -13.5. And then the nightcap, you have the Niners and the Seahawks. The Seahawks are getting 7 at home. I might even go ahead and take the money line on the Seahawks for the upset. That's really good odds at +260. So don't listen to me if you're wrong. It's your fault. But download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code BWF for Bad Weather Fans. That's BWF. New customers can bet $5 on NFL Thanksgiving action to score $150 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, with code BWF. For Bad Weather Fans. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in New York. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, must be 21 or older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms at DraftKings at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Almost got through the whole read without botching it, but I was close. I was close there.
Nah, you were great. You were like Mikal Bridges last night. The Thursday football games are so much fun. If you're listening to this, as you're heading over to your Thanksgiving dinner, wherever it is, use that promo code BWF. Have a good time, play responsibly, and enjoy the football. Mikal Bridges, it was interesting, Alex. He was on the Taylor Rooks podcast, and he basically said, like, I hear it from Net fans that I've played like shit so far this year and haven't lived up to the expectations. And he said, I understood why Net fans would be mad. He basically said some of them are morons, but understand how passionate they are as a fan.
I agree.
Passionate they are, and respects that. But it was interesting because then Mikal Bridges came out and had his best performance of the season He scored 45 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 16 of 31 shooting, but basically down the stretch in the fourth quarter demanded the ball and was awesome and just wasn't good enough. Had a tough miss in the overtime session on a layup, but made so many crucial shots. But the Nets defensively had no answers for Trae Young and ultimately fell short 147, 145. Young missed a couple of free throws, and the Nets had an opportunity with 1.9 or 2.2 seconds left. Had the timeout to use, advanced the ball, and Lonnie Walker got off a bad jumper that would have been late anyway. Didn't go in, and the Nets now 3-game losing streak against the Hawks, who have scored 300 points combined in their last 2 games. Clearly, the Nets right now going through a little something, and they defensively were atrocious in the first half. And this team not the same without Ben and Cam. There's definitely something off. It's funny because as much as Simmons isn't great, definitely feel his presence missed to have him in the rotation, and same with Cam Thomas. But this team, you can see if they can't defend, they're not going to win many basketball games. And even though they out rebounded the Hawks, Alex, they had so many crucial offensive rebounds that did not go their way and proved to be the difference as Atlanta. They improved to 7-7. Team the Knicks have beaten twice this year. Nets 6-8, 3-game losing streak, and away we go into the holiday.
Yeah, and if the Nets are going to go anywhere this year, Mikal Bridges has to be the man. He has to demand the ball. He has to be the number one alpha on the team. We've talked about it so many times that the Nets don't have an alpha, and they seem to just be a team full of guys that are happy to pass the ball, and besides Cam Thomas, of course, but they're happy to be they're all for one for all, and it works for them, for to a certain extent. But at some point in these close games, you need somebody to be the star. And Mikal Bridges has to be that guy.
He was.
And and it's good that for Nets fans that happened tonight. So last night when in that long game. But only the Knicks own the Hawks, so it's I'm not used to losing to the Hawks anymore. So
no, they don't. They really do beat them. I have to be honest about that, and I was just very thankful that the Minnesota Timberwolves took care of the Knicks and brought them down a peg. But the Eastern Conference as a whole, I mean, you got the Indiana Pacers playing great basketball, the Nets who defeated the Orlando Magic. Orlando gets a win in Denver. I believe Orlando's 10-5. Cleveland, Miami, Boston, Milwaukee. I mean, the Eastern Conference basically has a lot of good teams and then a lot of bad teams. And the Nets are teetering on the lower half, but not quite there. They're better than the Bulls, the Hornets, who have started to play better basketball. Actually, LaMelo Ball was great again yesterday and had an amazing quote after the game. If you didn't hear it, check it out on Twitter. What he's going to enjoy on Thanksgiving Day. But Knicks 8-6, Nets 6-8 as we head into this Thanksgiving holiday. And I know, Alex, you had a good question prepared on Twitter yesterday as we get into our mailbag episode, which makes sense here on a Thanksgiving morning. Questions from our fans, our bad weather fans, BWF squared, on what they want to know about the Nets and Knicks.
Yes. So we had tough way. We wanted to record earlier this week, but things happen. It's life, and we couldn't. So we asked some of our fans on Twitter and /X, whatever you want to call it, some topics. And number one is from Coonies. He said, "Thoughts on Durant's airball?"
Well, what was the question you posed first to the audience, and then we can go into that. Was that
give us some
Knicks and Nets?
Give us some Knicks and Nets topics we would like to discuss, and we will give you a shout out on the show.
All right. Did he really bring that up?
Cooney's DM me and he said, "Thoughts on Durant's airball?"
Is he talking about the one from when the Nets were in the playoffs, or did he have someone in Phoenix yesterday? He's played really well in Phoenix too. He's shooting over 50% from three. It's amazing how well he has played, considering his age. But no, to answer Cooney's question, I mean, it was disappointing. I mean, that in that series, the Nets were, they had some injury issues with Harden going out and then Kyrie being out. Harden came back in that series, Coonies, if you don't remember. Basically, what had happened was Durant had an amazing performance in Game 5, so the Nets went up 3-2. Game 6 goes back to Milwaukee. Nets just did not have enough gas on the road and really were saving it for that Game 7. And before that air ball that he's alluding to, Durant made an incredible shot, but the Nets down by 2. Looked like maybe it was a three-pointer, but his toe was on the line. It was only 2, go to overtime. I know all Net fans thought they had it there. But yeah, I guess to answer Cooney's question, just disappointment. Yeah, it was really disappointing. I mean, it was a tough fadeaway three. I understand it. The guy was doing everything for them, but to answer his question, yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, I love how you flipped the troll question and answered it seriously. Like you knew it was a clear troll question.
No
You
problem.
broke it down and like that's the way to answer a troll. It's like really just fully respond. Some person on Twitter was like calling me all sorts of curse words about because I talk about Obi Toppin sometimes. And he's like, some fake ass Nick fan. That's, I can't
Right.
believe it. Forget about it. All you do is post Obi highlights. So I said, have you seen this one? And I posted another Obi highlight. He's like, get fucking chip, fuck. And I was like, oh man, how about this alley oop? And I posted, it's
Hey,
just,
no, I respect our fans. I respect
yeah,
the coming in wanting to know my opinion on it. I'll give it to them. It
yeah, yeah,
sucked. It
yeah.
was really disappointing. That Nets team, if healthy, I mean, was electric. I mean, they really
Right.
were that good. But obviously, I mean,
Listen, I got a lot of
didn't work.
what ifs in Knicks land too. All fan bases do.
Not like this. Not like that one. But yeah, I hear you.
So
But yeah,
another
happy to
one.
answer it.
So next, Vivek at VDADHANIA. So VDAD Hanya.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he has one Knicks, one Nets. Knicks, the dominance of Mitchell Robinson. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll let you answer the Nick part, and
It's
then I'll go
very
to the net part.
exciting. It's very exciting. Mitchell Robinson. Every year, you're like, this is the year he's going to turn around. This is the year he turn around. He gets too bulky. He gets too skinny. He's hurt. He's this. He's that. But this year, he just looks possessed. And I think I was texting you this, Mike, the other day.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, Mitchell Robinson looks amazing. You're like, can you text Anthony this? Like, I don't need to hear these random Knicks,
Yeah.
excitement texts, and it was so funny because Mitchell Robinson is just he's grabbing boards, because he used to be he wasn't grabbing enough boards, and now he's grabbing boards. He's blocking shots. He's like he blocked Capella flat-footed the other day. Like,
Yeah.
it's just it's been great to see, and it's very exciting, and he could be really the anchor of the defense, and he should be all defense this year. And he won't be an all-star because his stats, don't back up his dominance, and he doesn't score enough. But it's still exciting. Okay, so now the Nets question.
Well, I
Oh,
just
go
want
ahead.
to just
Yeah,
react
go.
to that because it's fun. I think it's interesting as well because the Nets have a guy in Nick Claxton, and I think there's like always kind of a very different kind of players, but always this comparison of Nick. It's both two young guys trying to get better. Claxton's had a start to the season, and he finally had a decent game last night with 22 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 blocks. And it just got me thinking Nick Claxton is such an enigma in so many ways where sometimes you think he's going to be great and then other times he can't put it all together. And I think Net fans are very twisted on their views of if Nick Claxton's in their long-term plans. But I just wanted to bring that net point off Mitch. But what was the question? Yeah, go for
No,
it.
it's true. But also, Knicks and Nets centers are going to be compared more than any other player for some reason. And, Mitchell Robinson, Jared Allen used to get compared, and Jared Allen used to own Mitchell Robinson when he was with the Nets because, Mitch was younger. And well, now, yeah, well, he was more raw, I would say. And
Yeah.
but Jared Allen was like better. And then
Mitch, but
that's
Jared
why,
at the time was a baby too, because I mean Allen came out.
right.
I mean
But he was
he's
more
only like
polished. He was more polished than
he
Mitchell
had more
Robinson.
league
Yeah,
experience, but
yeah.
Allen at the time it's not exactly like he was
No, he wasn't
a
30 and
savvy
20.
veteran.
Yeah.
He was like
No, yeah.
21.
Well, that's old, man. Now,
Oh, stop it.
and no, but that's why going into the Cavs series last year, you were like, oh man, well, Jared Allen
Sure.
owns Mitchell Robinson, but then Mitchell Robinson really, got him back.
He was
and
bad that series. Mm-hmm.
got him when it counts. So now the Nets question from Vivek: when do the Nets make a pivot and consider trading their role players?
Well, I think for them, if somebody that's a superstar becomes available, they'll do it in a heartbeat. That's in the right timeline. For example, Donovan Mitchell, if he becomes available, I think the Nets would trade there. Now, if you're talking about from a rebuild mode, I think you have to wait and see where the team is at. Like, for example, and if you haven't seen this Lonnie Walker dunk versus the Sixers,
Yes.
all 5 Sixers in the frame. It was not even from a net like standpoint because Nets got their ass kicked that night. Just it was like art. It was a really cool photo to see 5 Sixers in the frame, all going up to block a shot and all coming down and him dunking was a
It's
very
like Shaq.
cool. It
When
was
Shaq
very
dunked on all the Nets.
right,
Yeah.
but a really cool looking photo. But I would say too, let's say for example, if the season goes south and the Nets are bad and they're out of it, the Nets have guys that championship kind of teams would want. Lonnie Walker has been great. He can score the basketball off the bench. Royce O'Neal's been bad this year. He's missing a lot of shots. He's terribly inconsistent, but he's another guy that would warrant attention at the trade deadline to get something back. So the Nets do have pieces that could be dealt that are good role players for a championship team. We'll just have to wait and see where this season goes. And I think Nets management feels the same way. I don't think Sean Marks knows exactly, where this team is going. But if they are failing and not playing well, I'd be disappointed in management for not trading away role players to get assets back for the future.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, the Nets have a lot of good players, so they can trade a couple guys and still have a solid team to try to build up. So that makes sense.
Yeah, it's all interchangeable, which is which is a good thing and a bad thing. Where Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce O'Neal, Lonnie Walker, these guys have been, decent players, but they're not they're interchangeable in a good way for depth, but not for star power. So yeah, no, I would wait and see, and if things go south, make the moves.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, next one.
Thanks, Alex.
From John Malenka. He's at JMELEKA Malenka. More likely to save the franchise. Save their franchise. Evan Fournier or Zach Wilson?
Save the franchise. I would say, unfortunately, Zach Wilson, just by default of the position, although I don't think he ever plays a down again for the Jets. Evan Fournier is not saving the Knicks. Not that Zach Wilson is, but I guess he would, in some crazy, twisted, sick way of storytelling, if Jack quarterbacks get hurt in the next couple of weeks, he's back in there, and at least he'd have the option. But Evan Fournier, is no chance.
And listen, Fournier had a shot this year. There was a bunch of injuries, and he gets to play. Plays 16 minutes the other day. He's 2 points on 1 of 6 shooting, and now he's hurt.
Yeah. What was your answer?
My answer is definitely Zach Wilson, because yes, he's there's a lot of ups and downs in football. And remember with Geno Smith, I'll make a Jets example where it's like he's benched or he's done, and it's like he'll never play for the Jets again, and all of a sudden he's starting again. Right. Or he was about to start and then he got his jaw broken. You know what I mean? It's just like one of those things where it's like with football, you never know with a quarterback. Right now, Zach Wilson looks like he'll never play again. But listen, Boyle or Simeon goes down, and they're just one hit away from him being back out there.
It's so crazy to me, Alex, how similar Aaron Rodgers and Kevin Durant are without it's insane. And Jet fans don't even recognize it because they don't know the Nets, and I understand that because some do. Yeah. But if you look at this situation when Jet fans are calling, you gotta like Nathaniel Hackett.
That's what I was saying.
Can't be here. Nathaniel Hackett can't be here, and then people going, but Aaron Rodgers wants him. I don't care. Get rid of him.
You have to care. Yeah,
it's not going. It doesn't work like that. If you fire him, then Aaron Rodgers is gone. He'll be toast. It's not as simple as you got to be bigger than the player. Try, see what happens.
The difference is you're chained to Aaron Rodgers for 1 more year. Like it's just 1 more year. You're really chained to him. It's not like Durant and Kyrie was years. For
that year.
Yeah,
that year
you have to. You're stuck with this whole team. Stuck with Salah. You're stuck with everybody. You have to. You have
Hazard,
to. You have no choice. Yeah,
it's just so funny how similar it is. It's wild to me.
So. Okay, next we have our boy James Celestin. He had a topic last week, but we'll get him again. So, for sure. Big fan of ours. I love him. At Rebirth Chaos 09. He said he has 3 topics. Let's do like rapid fire on these. He goes, do the Knicks make a move at the trade deadline? And if so, who are the names to keep an eye on? Honestly, I have no idea because Leon Rose hasn't been shown to not make the big trade. He's the kind of guy that's going to make the small trade if he makes a trade at all. He's not the type to do anything crazy, and especially at the deadline. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, last year, remember what the Knicks, the trade the Knicks made at the deadline last year ultimately really helped them make it to the second round. Shout out Richard Jefferson, who called it in the deal to get Josh Hart. That was a spectacular trade. He really added depth to the Knicks and gave them a toughness that helped them, especially in that Cavs series. He wasn't as efficient in the Heat series. But I think, to Alex, to your point, it'll be something similar to that, where the Knicks use some of these extra draft picks that they got. For example, they have 2 second-rounders from Indiana for Obi Toppin to add to their arsenal. Maybe Leon flips those for somebody. But yeah, to me, that's the kind of player they get, and it's not going to be anything more than that, which, I think the track record proves that's where you're going in that direction. If the Knicks do make a deal at the deadline.
Fair, fair. And then number two, if you are the Nets and you're playing well, do you keep Jacques Vaughn and he's the guy? Is he the guy you trust long term?
Probably not. Jacques, he gets a lot out of his guys, and the players seem to like him. I mean, there's a frustration level definitely sometimes with rotations. It's Jacques Vaughn is a fine coach, a great guy, but I don't see him leading your team to a championship. I think he is here for this transition period for whatever that is, with Mikal getting better, Cam Johnson, who got hurt again last night, although it said it was just cramps, so hopefully he's back after the tip in, the development of Cam Thomas. But I just don't see Jacques Vaughn on the other side of it when this knock on wood team is ready to compete again. But I like Jacques. He's frustrating a
Yeah,
little bit.
he's
It's
the
an
Mark
upgrade
Jackson.
from Steve Nash. It's an upgrade from Steve Nash. And I think Net fans forget how bad that was with the lack of timeouts, not understanding when to call for challenges.
He was
Um,
inexperienced. Yeah,
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 there's at least an upgrade there. But at the middle of the pack kind of coach, but it's up and down on Jacques.
yeah. He's kind of like your Mark Jackson to hopefully your Steve Kerr when you win 4 titles. But
Yeah.
and the last question from James is the Knicks core four to me are RJ Brunson, Mitch, and Quickly. Which star would you add to that core that can take you over the top? This is assuming Randall does and will get traded because he's due for an extension this summer. Who's the star, Mike? Who's the star? I don't know. That's the thing. It was Donovan Mitchell, and it was teed up for them, and they didn't pull the trigger. And I'm not rehashing that debate because everybody feels how they feel, and that's it. And but that was the guy to get. And would he have taken them over the top? I don't know, but I don't know who's out there now. It's not Giannis. He's not going anywhere now. It's not Dame because he's in Milwaukee and he's going to retire there. And when he's gone, if he's gone from Milwaukee, he's going to be too old. And then there's Embiid, I guess. But Philly has the tools to trade for somebody to add to Embiid, and they have Maxey, who's freaking awesome.
Had a
So
great
I don't
year.
know what they're gonna do. You got to just go down the list of all stars.
I,
Zion, I guess, is the guy. I mean, like that's the guy, and is he like a superstar that's going to take you over the top? I mean, I don't know, but he's awesome, and he's best friends with RJ, and we've gone through this on this show too, and on Twitter at Nick Central, all the time. Zion is that guy for me. He's the guy that's been teed up since draft night that he should have been a Knick, and it would have been the NBA fucked up. Like they really did, sending him to New Orleans. They should have fixed the draft. At least send him somewhere that's a big market, and it's just at a team that's alive. The Pelicans are a dead team, and it's sad that he's wasting his career there. But we'll see. He's got to stay healthy. But if he stays healthy and he plays awesome, he's untradeable. So it's a catch-22. But I think Zion's that guy. Mike, what do you think?
I really think it's going to be a Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes again
Ugh.
once his tenure comes to an end. Because I think he's doing his thing. He's giving effort, but all indications and my sources have said he's wanting to get out of there. And by sources, I mean net spaces.
Not Windy. You and Windy are not tight. Where he give you a
No,
general answer.
we are not. We are not tight at all. No, I would not.
It'd be
say
annoying
that.
being friends with Windy because I feel like Windhorse, because I feel like he'll never answer a question directly like he does with his
Well,
sources. Hey, Windy, what do you want to get to eat? Well, let's think about it. Something with ketchup. Ketchup could be a condiment that we use, but maybe not. It could be relish. Anyway,
That sounds about right. I always think for those guys too, like Shams and Woj, they're just on their phones all the time getting news. Like, what happens if Woj just gets a text from his wife? Like, does he miss it? Like, how does that happen? Like, hey, what time are you coming home? It's like, sorry, I had the Cavs GM texting me and I just missed it. Like, it must happen all the time.
right. I heard a story that Shams doesn't play pickup ball anymore because he missed the trade once or something.
I
So
think
he
I heard that
decided
too.
like that's a real
sucks.
thing. Yeah, that sucks. But you know what? He's paid millions
That's true.
to report
That's
the news.
fair.
It's just, but like they're so competitive, him and Woj and Shams. They're the two guys, and they have to be, and it's
Yeah.
like Ian Rappaport and Schefter and NFL. It's like they have to be so competitive. But I feel like Schefter and Ian Rappaport are more like friends, and they're just kind of like feed off each other in a way. I don't know. It just seems a little bit more respectful there, where Woj and Shams are like legit hate each other, So I think it's also weird because like, what if like Woj or Shams are with their significant others and they're having a nice date night, or they're have being intimate with each other, and then like, oh my God, Giannis is getting traded to the Knicks. It's like his phone blows up. It's like, excuse me, honey, I gotta go send a tweet. I'm sure they have assistants. They have millions of dollars. I'm sure they have assistants that can help out with certain things. But
well, I think at that point, if you're, let's just say, having sex,
yeah,
you just got to put your phone on silent in another room, because if you're in the middle of it and then that phone dings, I mean,
yeah,
you're gonna, either two things are gonna happen. You're gonna piss off your significant other because you're going to go to your phone and say I'm sorry, or you're going to do what you're doing and then miss something that's news breaking. Either way, you're going to be stressed. I think if you're being intimate and you're having sex, you got to put your phone away. You just can't even think about it if you're that high level of a newsbreaker, because the concentration you need for one thing, I think your mind would go to another place. Once you heard that phone ring, I'd be like, I don't know if I can do this anymore, because I think Blake Griffin might be headed to a different team.
Well, for somebody like you, it's good that you only last 30 seconds. So it'll be good for you to just be like right away.
Fair.
Oh, I won't miss a trade. And it's really quick, honey. Like, well,
damn. That's true. That's true. That's why I don't miss any breaking news. I can multitask. All right, Alex, what's next? Whatever our next question.
Next one.
Didn't see that going there.
So the next one is from Tedros at JJ Walker 718. Top 5 Knicks teams you've seen during your lifetimes and what made them good.
I'll let you answer this.
Yeah. Mike's like, I loved every team in the Isaiah Thomas era. Like, those are my best teams. But I would say top 5, obviously number 1 is 94. And they're just a complete Knicks team. Great, unstoppable. Probably say like 97. Is that the year with the suspensions when they came off the bench? I think it was 97 or 96. I don't remember the exact team. And that year they were built to beat the Bulls. It's one of those, what ifs, but like with Larry Johnson and Chris Childs in those first years with those guys, and they were just tough, obviously. And that's why the Heat had to cheat in order to win and beat them. 99, the finals run, that was incredible. Then I'll go Melo 54 win year, 2012, 13. I don't remember which year it was. And that was just not out of nowhere. It was just so fun because they're finally good, and like good, they were like great. And that's another one. If they beat the Pacers, I think they give the Heat the series, but that one you can't even blame the commissioner on. So like they didn't beat the Pacers, so it's not one of those what ifs like the Knicks Heat with the suspensions, because they legitimately got shafted. They had Scott Brooks playing big minutes in in the playoffs, the second round of the playoffs versus the Miami Heat, who was the 12th man on the bench, obviously. And then the last one, I'm going to go, surprisingly, 2020. Coming out of COVID, that was just like out of nowhere, that team, the fourth seed, I know our boy State is always like, the fourth seed championship and whatever, and the almighty fourth seed. But you know what? Like, that was just so much fun. Like, coming out of COVID and like just finally just something to be happy about. And personally, I was going through like wedding postponements and, living at the in-laws through COVID and like going crazy. And it's just so nice to have something happy going on in the background of like, the Knicks are fucking good. Julius Randle is amazing. Like, who is this guy? So that was awesome. And, so those are my 5, and they all were special in their own way. Obviously 94, they were great defense, and Ewing was at the top of his game. Starks was incredible. Oakley was incredible. The 97 was just a complete team. 99 for the run to the finals, obviously just, ragtag lockout year. 2013 was fun because it was the first big great one in a while. Melo was fun and awesome, and 2020 coming out of COVID. So Mike, what do you think?
I can give you a net answer to that. I'll just give you my 5 favorite net seasons.
There you go.
That on the net side, because fun. I don't think me giving a breakdown of
like my favorite one was when they won 10 games in there.
Yeah. So I would say I would say the 5. We'll work backwards. I did like the COVID season, although it had didn't get back to the first question we got from Coonies about the air ball. It did end that way for the Nets, but that season as a whole, similar in the fashion of coming out of COVID, First time we had basketball on. And then for the Net fan, the expectations with Irving and Durant together was really exciting. And then that season, Coonies, if you forget, they made a deal for James Harden where they shifted a lot of assets out of Brooklyn, but they got Harden, who at the time was playing amazing, which is feels like a lifetime ago. And Irving, Durant, and Harden actually got a couple of games together and then went into that playoff series against the Celtics, demolished them against Milwaukee, game 1 and 2, won by 30 and 40 points. And you were just like, wow, this is something. Didn't end the right way, but that was a fun season for a lot of different reasons. A couple seasons prior, when the Nets came out of the abyss and had that fun team with D'Lo, Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, Spencer Dinwiddie, Damari Carroll, Joe Harris, Ed Davis, the Nets team that made the playoffs, lost to the Sixers in 5. That team was a lot of fun to watch and came out of nowhere and were scrappy and was fun to get behind. Then you got to go all the way back. I would say my 3 favorite net seasons of all time: 0102, 0203, 0304.
Yeah.
0102, first season at the NBA Finals, lost to the Lakers in 4. My favorite basketball season of all time. The next year had a real legit chance to beat the Spurs, lost to them in 6. Richard Jefferson said this during the Yes broadcast the other day, where he saw Tim Duncan years, like 25 years later, or however long it's been, a couple years ago, and said, hey, what did you think of our team in that 0203 year? And he goes, I thought it was 50-50. Like I wasn't a lock that we could beat you guys. Just to say how good the Nets were. And then actually the 0304 season, when the Nets lost in the second round to the Pistons in 7, they beat the Knicks in 4 in the first round that series. That Nets team was actually the best of the 3 because
Really?
Richard Jefferson and Kenyon Martin. Kenyon was an all-star that year. Kenyon and RJ became really good players, star players, alongside Jay Kidd. Now, that first year, RJ was a rookie. Kenyon was still a little raw, and Kidd was phenomenal. But that 0304 year, they had the most top heaviness of the Nets teams. Kidd's knee was shot, and he got hurt, and he just could not play at the same level consistently in that Detroit series. They took the Pistons to 7, had a 3-2 lead. That's the Pistons team that won the championship. That Nets team was legit, but the injury to Kidd killed them. But that's the way it goes, man. I'm used to that. So those are the 5 for me.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, Mike. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
I do have one as well.
It.
This is from Corey Cantor, as I just lost here we go. Corey B. Cantor, really good fan of Bad Weather Fans, good dude. What should Nets and Knicks fans be thankful for this year? I'll let you start, Alex.
I am thankful for the core 4, as I've been calling it, and has James, stole my phrase. Thanks, James. RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, Jalen Brunson, and Mitchell Robinson. Those are the 4 guys I'm thankful for. And I'm thankful for other good players on the team. Don't get me wrong. But those are the 4 guys that Knicks can build around for the future. And you add a star around that somehow, or you just, guys that complement them. And you can really do some major damage, Mike. You can do damage. So that's what I'm thankful for.
I'm thankful for, as a Net fan, the Cam Thomas incredible play early and his fantastic play. Hopefully he gets back soon. All indications are he's starting to ramp it up and get back into practice yesterday, which we heard. So I'm just thankful for that, and just thankful to be out of which was just a rough patch at the end with the Nets, and just thankful for being upset about a loss last night and having some heartbreaking losses, but hopefully building towards something in the future. So I'm thankful for being average.
No thankful drama. For being a normal team.
Yeah. I'm thankful for that.
We have 3 more. We can get to it quick. Our boy Triple M. He's at Triple M. What's up? Between the 2 teams, which Triple M, by the way, is blowing up. He's a star now. Did you know he's in one of those Nick commercials? He's behind CP the franchise, and he's like, he's modeling for Nickish. He's blowing up, man. Yeah, he was on our show a couple of years ago, and now he's just like a big star. I don't know if he even knows who I am anymore. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know. I probably not. If he's that big of a star, I would think he doesn't. Does he know? I know he doesn't know who I am anymore, but that's surprising. Well, good. Congrats on all your success.
Yes, he's going to have to get another M soon. It'll be quadruple M. So between the two teams, who has the better assets to make that star trade? Knicks or Nets? Go ahead, Mike.
It's a good question.
That's why
That's
he's
a
a
really
star,
good
man. That's
question.
why he's a star.
I mean, both teams have a lot of picks. You know, the Nets re what's the word I'm looking for? Restock the cupboard. Is that a phrase? What? Who am I? And they got all the picks from Phoenix, the picks from Dallas. You know,
Mhm.
some of their picks still went to Houston, so there's limitations there, but they have stockpiled draft picks. Um, they have role players that they can trade. I don't know if the Nets really have, the Nets are funny because who on the Nets would you want to trade that's not let me see what I'm trying to
Bridges.
say.
Just yeah, I know what you're saying.
The Nets don't have any young players that I think would excite another team in a trade. For example, maybe Cam Thomas was that guy, but now if you're the Nets, you just can't trade Cam Thomas away. You have a 22-year-old that's playing out of his mind well. You're not dealing him right now. He's under contract. You just don't make that trade. So I don't know if the Nets have any exciting young players that other teams would want, but they have a boatload of assets. So I would probably say a slight edge to the Knicks, but I do think it's pretty competitive in that question. But a slight edge to the Knicks.
Well, for the Knicks, it depends who they're trading. If you're trading Julius Randle, then I
But
think you have a little more. You
that's
know,
the interesting part about it because I
yeah.
think the Knicks would deal arguably their second best player
Hmm.
no problem. Where the Nets, they wouldn't do that with any of their guys. They don't have that's what makes this interesting is Julius Randle is a piece that could be dealt.
But I don't know if they
And
would
if he
trade him.
went,
That's the
I
thing.
don't know.
That's the
Yeah,
yeah.
I would say slight edge. I'd say a slight edge to the Knicks because I think they could get away with trading, for example, and I know he's had a very good season, but I think they could get away with dealing RJ Barrett and getting Donovan Mitchell in return and being able to, even though that would suck, it would, it would, they would get a little bit better. I don't know if the Nets don't have that. Not trading
They're
Cam
trading RJ Barrett.
Johnson.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
If
don't
they're
know.
trading RJ Barrett, they gotta get a superstar because the fan
Yeah,
base would be up in arms. you know, you
yeah.
know?
And maybe that's a bad example then.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nick fans. Don't Biseglia. Yeah, I would give a slight edge to the Knicks. Slight edge, but I think it's a competitive question. And I think
Yeah.
all things equal, either way it could work. Either way it could work.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. It depends. Like if the Nets are trading Mikal Bridges, obviously they have
No.
more assets. But why would they trade him? The point is to
Let's
get
use
somebody with him.
let's use
So
Donovan Mitchell as an example. If the Nets are
right.
making a deal to get Donovan Mitchell, all right, all the draft picks, then it's have a lot of good ones. Those Phoenix picks down the road are going to be valuable.
Yes.
The Mav pick, the unprotected Mavs first round pick in 2028 is going to be valuable in theory. So you have all these picks that you can trade. Young players, the guys the Nets drafted last year would be or this year in the first round would be involved. And then after that, that's really it. I mean, who else are the Nets?
Cam
Maybe
Johnson, I guess. Yeah.
like maybe Nick Claxton goes in a deal because he's an expiring contract. If you can get something in return with Donovan, I don't know. Like what are the Knicks gonna do? It's gonna be all those fucking draft picks. Um, do you deal quick? Do you
Yeah.
deal? I mean, somebody's, something like that. So the
Well,
Knicks have
quickly is
nobody
harder
left
to
outside of
trade.
quickly.
Yeah.
Who
Quickly
else
is
do the
harder to
Knicks have that
trade.
you would
Yeah.
want? There's nobody.
Yeah. You're not, I mean, there are guys that are like fillers, like Josh Hart or
It's all Phil. Yeah,
DiVincenzo
but
or filler
that's
guys
just filler
that
guys.
are good players that could add to a trade. It's not like you're trading, Deuce McBride or something like that. You know what I mean? Or, Evan Fournier. They
No,
actually are quality NBA players that get traded a lot because they're good, but
right.
so,
Well, it's just like the
yeah,
Nets with Dorian Finney-Smith if he
right,
gets in
right.
a deal, right? Like
Exactly. Yeah.
DFS 3-and-D guy. He's had a good year. He can defend. He can knock down a shot. The Nets, he's got to do a lot more. But you take Dorian Finney-Smith, and he goes to the Heat. He goes to the Bucks. He goes to the Celtics. Yeah, okay. But yeah, it's just the same kind of shit. So I give a slight edge to the Knicks.
Yeah. Okay. Well, as if you're looking to bet on something like that, you're at DraftKings, make sure you do that. And there's so much to be thankful for. Family, friends, food, and NFL football all week long. DraftKings Sportsbook is keeping your Thanksgiving full of action. New customers can bet just $5 on the NFL action to score $150 instantly in bonus bets. No matter your appetite, there's something for you. Money lines, parlays, props, live bets, and so much more. You name it, they've got it. If you want to bet on the Jets and the Giants this weekend, I'm sure you can get some good odds for those. Jets on Black Friday, Giants on Sunday. Who are the Giants playing? I don't even remember.
Patriots.
The Patriots. Oh,
Giants
that's
are
a barn
probably
burner.
favored if I had to guess.
Yeah, so we'll see that. That's gonna be fun. DeVito's great. Looks good. The Jets. We'll see what happens with Boyle. So I don't know what's going on with those, but I'm sure the Jets are not favored in that one. I don't have the numbers in front of me, so sorry.
I'll look
but
it
you
up
can look
as you're reading.
On the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code BWF for bad weather fans. New customers can bet $5 on any NFL Thanksgiving action to score $150 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, with code BWF for bad weather fans. That's BWF. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. Must be 21 or older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms and at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms.
What do you think the spread is for Dolphins Jets on Friday at JetLife Stadium?
9.5.
10.
10. Okay, sounds close.
And then what do you think it is for Giants? And Giants are home versus the Pats.
I think I'll say 4.5.
Which for who?
So the Patriots are getting 4.5.
Minus 3.5 Pats.
Really? So the Giants are getting points with the wow.
Yeah, I mean the Giants coming off a win. Patriots, we know their struggles. That's
surprising.
Yeah, I would like the Giants there.
Yeah,
Just
take the Giants money line on that one.
What's the faith of
what's the money line for the Giants?
Plus 150.
That's good. That's really good.
I think it's fun rooting for DeVito because he's a local kid and he lives at his house.
Guy. Yeah. It's like the Jeremy Lin of the Giants.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
but from
that's
Jersey.
One. Yeah, no, but yeah, no, thank you for that. Bad weather fans, BWF code. Have fun with those games on Thursday, which is today. If you're listening, I'm definitely going to partake with the BWF code. I'm also going to do a DraftKings roster spot, do some of that stuff too, which is fun.
Oh, the daily fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah. This is a good
promo code works for that too. So go for it.
It's a good time to do it. It's
fun.
Just fun. Yeah, it's just fun because there's only 3 games
and everybody's watching
than a full slate. And I think everybody's watching it. I'm going to do it with my brother-in-law. Him and I are going to set that up today. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's great. Okay. We have 2 more topics.
Let's do it.
James Kassan at James Kassan 4 or Kassan. I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. Knicks, Nets players and coaches you're thankful for to have / not thankful to have had over the past decade. So just the last 10 years. So since 2013 or 14. So let's go with 1 thankful, 1 not thankful.
Oh God, that's a loaded question.
I know you're not thankful for.
Who?
K.I.
Yeah, but at the same time, I am thankful and not thankful all at once. And I do believe, and we had Robin Lundberg on the podcast, and he made a really good point. And I think he's very fair, actually, with the Nets assessments. But he said something.
Sometimes.
Well,
he skews Homer. Homer. He's a good fan.
When he said, obviously the net big 3 was a colossal failure. And anybody that says otherwise is lying or just is incorrect. It was a failure.
Mm-hmm.
But what he did say was they did give the Nets a foundation and a better reputation in the sense of this is somewhere that stars did want to go, and they've built something for the future of the Nets. So I do like that about what they did. Now, obviously, from so many different angles, I'll make it simple. I'm very happy and thankful for the big three and thankful for everything they did for the Nets. I'm also unthankful for them because they could not put their egos aside to make something work that could have been really fun and could have been really special. But narcissistic behavior, egomaniacs could not make it work. And for that, I'm unthankful that they were unable to find a way to coexist when they are three of the greatest players in their primes to ever do it. So thank you guys. Thanks for the question, James.
So for me, thankful for, I am very well. So I'm very thankful for Jalen Brunson, obviously, because he's a star, like a legitimate star, borderline superstar, and he came out of nowhere, and he's underpaid, and he's going to get a super max, whatever he can get when he's eligible in 2 years, which is why the Knicks are wasting that time by not getting a star now, but whatever. I'm also weirdly thankful for Porzingis, because trading Porzingis, I'm thankful he demanded the trade and ran away from the smoke, because trading Porzingis set up what the team is now. They made the trades. It really helped out. They cleared the deck. They were able to tank. Ended up with RJ Barrett. They didn't get Zion or Morant, but RJ Barrett's been the most reliable one. He's been playing all the time. He's developing. He's getting better and better every year. And without that Porzingis trade, they don't have him. They don't have a lot of other players. They're not able to give Mitchell Robinson the time. They're not able to. There's just so much. And the 2 picks they had, they traded back and forth, whatever. They ended up getting quickly. So I'm very thankful for that. I'm also thankful for the Melo trade. They got the Mitchell Robinson with that 2nd round pick they threw in. So I'm very thankful for Jalen Brunson. I'll put that way. That's the number one thankful thing, because without him, that this team wouldn't be going where they are now. They would have had that one flash in the pan 2020 year, and that was it. I'm not thankful for Julius Randle and the way he has, kind of dogged it ever since he, got the throne in 2020. He's gone down. He's got an attitude problem. He's just doesn't hustle. He, owns the franchise. He has all the connections in the franchise. He got Leon Rose the job, and Leon Rose owes it to him, and they won't trade him. They extended him before they needed to when he was on that team option the 1 year. It's just like, feels like he is above the law, and Tibbs will do whatever it takes to make sure he looks good, including not playing Obi Toppin a full game in the playoffs when he has 18 and 8 through 3 quarters. I'll never know if that was for real, and I can't imagine it was, but it's so hard to think that, they weren't protecting Randall by sitting Obi for that 4th quarter against the Heat when he was playing well, and he had the most 3-pointers on the team in that game. And I know he wasn't efficient on defense and whatever, but he was their starting player at that moment, and he was playing well. You needed him, and you ended up losing, so it's just, and then you trade Obi for nothing. So it's very hard to think about that. So Julius Randle, I'm not thankful for. Okay, last question.
What do you got?
Sven Harris, Fireside Nets podcast. Great podcast for the Nets fans out there. And Knicks fans want to hear Nets fans complain. So who has been the best NBA coach in the 5 boroughs, Tibbs or Jacques Vaughn?
Repeat that again. Say that again. I'm sorry.
Best coach in the city, Tibbs or Vaughn?
Based on success, I guess Tibbs. I mean, he's taken his team to the 2nd round of the playoffs. Jacques Vaughn took the Nets last year to the 1st round and got their ass kicked by the Sixers, and the Nets were afforded a little bit of leeway because Durant and Irving put together that big winning streak. As much as Knicks fans complain, and you complain about Tom Thibodeau, it's got to be Coach Tibbs, because I would just look at the success. This team's been to the 2nd round. They had a tough series versus they almost beat. They lost to an 8 seed in the Heat.
Mm-hmm.
But I would go with Tibbs based on just the success. I mean, it's not enough from Vaughn either. I think this year will determine a lot to answer that question, but I would go with Thibodeau.
Yeah, it's definitely Tibbs. I mean, Jacques Vaughn, we'll see how it goes. I mean, he did coach really well last year in the 2nd half of the season after everybody was traded. And that was a tough gig. He did well. It's not his first rodeo either. I mean, he did that with the Magic. So he was a decent coach there. So he's good. But, Tibbs definitely has the pelts on the wall here to put him over the top, even though he drives me crazy with some of his rotation decisions and some of his panicking in the playoffs and things of that nature. But Knicks can do a lot worse at the coaching position than Tibbs. And you can clip this right now, everybody listening, and you'll hear me, giving Tibbs credit. So even though there are some situations where he drives me absolutely crazy. So that's all.
I think that's a beautiful way to end the episode 196. Alex giving some praise for his guy, his man, Tom Thibodeau.
Thibodeau or Thibodeau? Which one do you do? Tomato.
It's Thanksgiving, man. Do whatever
Tibbs.
you want. Final question, Alex, and we'll keep it brief. Your favorite side dish on Thanksgiving?
Ooh, cream spinach.
On Thanksgiving?
Yeah, the
It's a
spinach.
random one.
Or the
mashed potatoes.
or the sorry, what's the one with the is it
Stuffing?
No, well, I love stuffing. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to go different here though, but it's the one with the marshmallows on top, the sweet potato
with marshmallows on top.
Yeah,
okay.
like the burnt marshmallows.
What is that thing? They're made of potatoes and they're smashed. Is it potatoes gratin?
But I love cream spinach.
Cream
spinach all day. I'm a cream spinach guy.
All right.
Stuffing has to be in the turkey, by the way. You have to have the stuffing in the turkey.
I'm with
you.
you.
Cooked in the turkey and get the juice from the turkey. Give me the stuffing out of a box. I can do this any day. The stuffing in the turkey.
Yes, get it in that cavity. I'm all there with you.
Shove it in that turkey's ass.
Shove it in that turkey's ass and use code BWF. Go to DraftKings. Have some fun this Thursday. If you're just listening to this now, as you're commuting to your Thanksgiving, or maybe you're sitting at the dinner table and you're like, I can't deal with anybody talking politics, so I'm going to put in my earbuds and listen to Alex talk about shoving his fist up a turkey's ass. That's always a good option on your Thanksgiving day. This has been bad.
Or go on YouTube and watch this instead of the football games on Thanksgiving or on Black Friday. It'll be better than watching the Jets. I'll tell you that right now.
Bad Weather Fans, episode 196. Subscribe. We appreciate all of the support. Alex, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy your day, and I'll talk to you later. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.